Okay, let's have a look at the Final Fantasy VII Remake material Ultimania. This is not like super new, but for the newcomers or people who didn't see any videos on that game, or who want to discover the universe of Final Fantasy VII, you can discover it. So because I did the video on Ghost in the Shell, for me they come together. For me, like Final Fantasy VII and Ghost in the Shell, they are kind of a similar vibe for the at least the urban vibes of the big city. But the story is very different though. Very different vibes for the story. But the very big city vibes are a little bit similar. In July there will be the next Ultimania for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but I see a preview of the Japanese version and I was disappointed because it's it's not even as thick as this one for Remake, but Rebirth in fact covers more zones, and I don't know, it feels weird that the Ultimania for Remake is bigger than the Ultimania for Rebirth. Maybe they put already many characters in Remake Ultimania, so they didn't know what to put more in the Rebirth Ultimania. Here they have some clothes design. I think it's a good idea because when you want to make it realistic for the way it will fold or wrinkle and so forth for the 3D models, you see the way everything moves. It's better to have a real object so you can observe the way it reacts to physics. So that's why when you want to draw clothes, it's good to look at real photos and videos of real clothes, and then you can of course simplify a little bit the folding, because in reality sometimes foldings they are very crazy and it doesn't look good if you draw it so realistically. But it's good to understand the way the fabric folds on itself and creates like, it's like waves interacting with each other, so they push one another and folds affects other folds. So it's good to observe, to take maybe a week or two to just study folds and clothing, and then you will have an easier time after that when you want to draw clothes. I like this part with the character design drawing. I think it's a guy, Roberto Ferrari, who do the design. So he works for Square Enix. He's a talented Italian artist, and yeah, I like his style. He has a good style. I would hope that at some point they make a Final Fantasy VII anime series, and they use his design for the anime. That would be cool. This year we have a Suikoden 2 anime that is being made and releasing, I think, at the end of the year also. So it's a good year. We have Ghost in the Shell manga-based anime coming out. We have Suikoden 2 anime coming out. And hopefully Square Enix will make an adaptation of Final Fantasy VII also into anime series. There was a short one, Last Order or something, that was pretty good. It looked really nice, done by a good studio also. So hopefully we get anime covering Final Fantasy VII Anthology, maybe, like Before Crisis, Crisis Core, and Final Fantasy VII, and yeah, even Advent Children. Why not? I'm not a fan of Advent Children, but why not? I don't like these guys. For me, they added useless characters in the remakes for like useless side quests. I would have preferred they would have done like side quests for the Turks or for the Avalanche or for the main characters, something more meaningful. But that's what we got. We got some cat chasing and rat hunting quests. That's kind of lame. Japanese studios, they are not yet very good with side content, side quests, compared to like Witcher 3 writing for side quests or something. But slowly maybe they will progress. See, like they could have done a side quest about Rufus, his relation with his father, or some quest on Barrett and Tifa with the Seventh Heaven. They did a few of that with Big Switch and Jesse, which was nice. Or they could have done some side quests with the Turks also. Could have been interesting. That's why I prefer when games they focused on main characters and create the side quests for main characters that matters, that we want to hate more or like more, rather than bringing new characters that don't matter, like this guy also, and that takes away the focus. So I hope the last game of the trilogy will have this kind of like closing arc side quest for the crew, all the characters. So we have some urban landscapes. Yeah, I also regret that we see this map of the subway or the train, and in the announcement of the remake game, I was hoping that we could explore the city, because they did the whole game on the city. The first game is all in Midgar, so I thought, okay, they're gonna make a whole game in Midgar, so I hope we can explore the whole city. But no, we could not. Not even like, if they could not do open world city, which is maybe difficult for Square Enix, they could at least have done, like a loading screen with the train system, and we go to each sector and we have some content to understand more the city, the socio-economic organization, and with side quests linked to the life of the city and poor people, rich people, and Turks, Shinra, Avalanche. Yeah, for me, I think they missed the mark in terms of deepening, extending the potential of Midgar with the remake game. They should have focused more on Midgar as a character and on the main groups, and make side quests linked to those groups to deepen the lore and the story, instead of like fetch quests and hunting quests and very like worn out game design. Here we have some buildings designs, look a little bit like a retro futurist. Well, it's kind of retro, but they kind of mixed some 60s and 70s and 90s vibes together. Yeah, this is good exercise for drawing a building and the interior. You can train to do that. It's a good exercise for perspective and 3D and building complex objects. But this book is generous. I like this book because they put everything they had in this book. It's a good book if you want to do some urban environments. Yeah. I like the design they did in some of the slum sectors. It was pretty good. It's more like the content they put in it that was not so memorable many times. The main content was okay, was good, but side content was not very interesting. The same in Rebirth also, like fillers, not very well written or not very useful for character building or anything. Oh, the sewers was a nightmare. It's a useless long quest. The train cemetery was okay. There is some memories of Aerith in there. It's okay, it's good. And the Shinra Tower was also pretty good. Arriving there and seeing the scale of the big tower was pretty interesting. It was a good moment. Here we have the photo of the characters working in Shinra workshops. The mayor of Midgar with the boss of Shinra. Here also we could have had a little bit more of the president in the game. before he gets taken out. Some of the floors of the Shinra Tower in Genova. Hojo fights were cool. It was fine. Overall, if you just go in a straight line into the game, remake is pretty good. But like in Rebirth, there are many like accessories and materials and weapons that are tied to some crappy side quests, which kind of makes you forced to do those crappy side quests, and I think it's not really good design to do that. So yeah, I'm sorry to be a little bit negative on the game, but it's just that for me, I really love Final Fantasy VII, and I thought that it was the time, the opportunity to really do the final masterpiece with this trilogy remake, and for me it really went sideways in terms of the weird multiverse whatever thing they went for, and also the crappy side quests and side content they chose to bring instead of just deepening the existing lore and characters. So I ended up writing my own book. I was disappointed with the Final Fantasy VII Remake weird timeline multiverse thing that was not very tasteful for Final Fantasy VII for me. So I ended up being so disappointed. I thought, okay, I will write my own sci-fi novel. So I wrote a 700 pages sci-fi novel, and that's one of the story I want to adapt into a manga at some point. But I'm glad I wrote. It was my first finished serious story novel that I wrote. It's not like Final Fantasy VII, but it's a little bit like a big city with a rich on top and poor on the below. But then it's different. It's based on my childhood in Paris and my friends, with whom I grew up. So it's a little bit a mix of my own childhood and teenage years, and bringing into a world that is a little bit like Akira, Ghost in the Shell, and Final Fantasy VII. And it was not easy to write a full novel. It's pretty draining for energy, but it was a good experience to push myself to be consistent, diligent, steady, and keep writing until I finish. This one was fun. This one was a cool boss battle. Interesting boss battle. This one was okay too. Yeah, the most boss battles, they were pretty good in the Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth also. This one a little bit long. The Genova boss is a little bit long, like when he gets like full immunity and you have to cut all the tentacles popping out, a little bit long. And these guys, I hate those guys. Yeah, this is when the game started to fall apart and go into my Marvel Universe bullshit stuff. And here we have the city design. This is interesting also. When I design my city for my novel, I look a little bit at the design also. I took some weeks and months to create the different districts and vibes of each area of the city. It's a lot of fun also to do some world building, some design. It's cool. Here you see the chronology of the building of Midgar. So they build the main pillar first, and then the supporting pillars, and then the first plate, and then I think this is for the Shinra Tower on top. See, they even scrapped Tifa's mission. You see, they put some crappy side quests with rats and cats and the bouncer and shit, and they didn't put the fucking side quest with Tifa, the main character. Yeah, this is stupid. You know, they should put side quests for main characters that matters, not useless NPCs from the Sims that we don't care about, you know. I'm pissed. Storyboard also is cool. Storyboard is always good to have some storyboards. Yeah, so this is the several scenes. Yeah, no spoiler if you didn't play the game yet. And yeah, some game fighting design. And here we have the soundtrack, my favorite soundtrack of any game, Final Fantasy VII. Aerith theme, the main theme, Prelude, Seed, Yuffie, Cosmo Canyon, so many good songs and themes. The remake has a good soundtrack, but just some of the remix tracks is really not tasteful. But the original reinterpretation, reorchestration, it was really good. Here we have some of the Japanese actors, voice actors, so you can see who they are. They have a very good voice in Japanese. I play in Japanese or French for the voices. I guess if you look in English, maybe you play in English, but maybe you're from Spain or Italy or Portugal or Germany, I don't know. So maybe you play with your own native language. You can let us know in the comment how is the language. Is the voice actors good in your language for this game? So that's it. Have a good day. See you later, guys.